What's up, everybody? I am really excited to share the Lyft stories that I have from a lot of rides. And I have a couple videos about the money part of driving Lyft, and those are fun. And if you're thinking about driving Lyft or already drive Lyft and just want to see what others make, watch those. I want to make a video about my experiences, which I mean, totally varied. Driving across Los Angeles, you meet all sorts of people, some really cool, some really weird. And I thought I would break it down in a video so you can sort of see what it was like for me driving. First things first, though. Um, let's see. PowerPoint, are you going to work? Okay, perfect. Use my promo code if you are thinking about driving a Lyft. You'll make money. I'll make money. Just make sure that when you use the promo code, to get the bonus, you do have to make a certain amount of rides within a time period, okay? So make sure and get that done so we're both fat and happy. I would appreciate that a lot. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. So I've made 2,094 rides. That's an R. And there are my stats. Haven't driven in the last week, so it just says 100. But 4.99 rating, so I'm kind of the man up in here, okay? I've driven one real celebrity, okay? I've driven like a few fake ones. Not fake ones, but people with like small time roles. And whereas this one celebrity was somebody who I think most people. I mean, he was pretty popular. Are you ready? Weird Al Yankovic. So here's what happened. I pulled up to a house in the Hollywood Hills, and it just said Al. And I was like, okay, let's see. I was just another ride. And so some guy gets in the car, and I look over, and I double take, and I'm like, that's Weird Al. Same hair, just a little bit older. And his daughter and his wife get in the car, and we're going to some play at the Hollywood Bowl or something. Hollywood Bowl, excuse me. And they're talking about like cheeseburgers from In-N-Out versus Shake Shack. And apparently he gets like a grilled cheese sandwich at In-N-Out Burger, which I thought was super weird. Other than that, he's a pretty normal guy. He was pretty nice. I didn't say, hey, Weird Al, I listened to your stuff as a kid. Eat It song was hilarious. I was like, okay, Paul, this is Los Angeles. You got to be cooler than that. So I didn't say anything. Okay. This is pretty funny. I had two freestyle raps in my car, and
That's my nigga. If I know she finna go crash out with no seatbelt, I'ma ride with her. Any man disrespect her, that.
And it was really funny because he was like, hey, can I charge my phone? So I plugged in my phone, and he's like, yo, do you mind if I rap? And I was like, no, actually. I'm looking for interesting things. I'm looking for things to sort of pass time. And all of a sudden he raps a minute and a half, and then he messes up, and he's like, yo, is it cool if I rap again? I was like, for sure. And at that point, somebody else had already got in because there's a Lyft pool, and this was around USC. And so there's a guy in the front, and he's in the back, and he's just sitting there spitting. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was pretty fun. People always wonder, how often do people throw up? Oh, people throw up all the time, Friday and Saturday. No, that actually rarely happened. Here are my 3 throw up stories, okay? The first one was actually a lady who was legitimately sick. I picked her up from a hospital on Friday night, which, I mean, she was sick. I picked her up from the hospital. She wasn't out partying, out kicking it. She was just sick. And so luckily I had a bag. I always keep like thick grocery bags from Ralph's. So she puked in it. The next was this guy who I was sitting there, and he was looking around for like 4 minutes, and I was right in front of him. And then he looked down and found me, and I was just sort of chilling. And by that point I knew he was drunk. I had no idea he was looking for me, but I knew he was really drunk if it took him that long. And so he just yacked his brains out, actually. And he was in the front seat, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, whatever, man. Just hope I can get you home safe. And then the last one was actually on a Saturday afternoon. A girl had been partying the night before, and she was with a couple of her guy friends, and they were making fun of her. And she was like, "Oh man, I'm feeling really sick." And so she just threw up in the bag. Saturday afternoon, like 2 o'clock. She was that hungover. And so it's weird because you would think I'd get a ton of people who throw up Friday and Saturday, and I always drove weekends. But I only have 3 of them, and only one of them is like really party related. The other are sort of random sort of things. Um, that's 4. I love LMA. My girlfriend took me to the concert in Vegas, and these girls got in my car, and it came on, and I was so excited. I mean, I love the song, especially at the time it came out. I was bumping that thing all day in my car, and so I took a little video.
We love this shit, dog.
I said to one of my friends, because he always makes fun of me for liking LMA. He wants me to like some gangsta shit, which I do, but I like LMA more. Okay, no, we got it. Okay, 2 influencers from Brazil. They were there for some sort of movie premiere. Girl in the middle has, I think, 2 million followers. Anyway, they wanted a picture, so we got one. I don't think that's the best one. I just chose one. And look at those hoops. The hoops on those ears. Those things are fatty. Good for you, girl. I love that the hoops are making a comeback. It's got a lot of personality. I got 1 ticket, and it was a $300 ticket. This lady had just got off the bus, like one of the metro stops in North Hollywood, and I pulled up to the stop, and or I guess in the bus lane, and you're not supposed to do that, obviously, but I hadn't even stopped yet, and the cop like waved me down, and I was thinking like, yo, should I just go? But anyway, he gave me a $300 ticket, and before I actually got the ticket, I was just like, shit. The lady was like, the lady in the back who was basically waved me down to her, so it was sort of her fault. She's like, I'll pay for the ticket. And I was like, really? It's $300. So she tipped me $12. So it was actually a net loss for that day. I did get 1 almost ticket, thank God. I was in a school zone dropping off a kid, and she was with her mom, and we were dropping off the kid at school and the mom at work. And the mom was like, "Oh, just take a U-turn here real quick to get out of here." And you're not really supposed to take a U-turn in the middle of the street or in a school zone. It doubles. And so it was about to be a $500 ticket. And the officer got a call, and he's like, "You're lucky I got to go somewhere else, because that'd be a $500 ticket." So that was a huge blessing. I only got 1 ticket, but it was 300. God, that's fatty. Other than that, no speeding tickets, no U-turns, nothing. So good for me. I posted this because this is a very dirty song, and there's one part of the song in particular at 1 minute and 6 seconds where it just gets like gross. And and there was an Australian girl in the car and a guy who worked in startups in the front. And I didn't, and we were talking, so we weren't really listening to the music. And then there was like a period of silence, and it was like right in the period of silence was the dirtiest part of the song. So if you want to hear that, that's the song. And as soon as he said it, I just started laughing. And I was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry about that." It was just on my Spotify shuffle. So that was fun. 4 times I was asked to change the music. Most people were pretty cool with whatever. If they wanted to play like their own on their aux thing, I didn't count that as changing. But more people just being like, "I don't like this song. I don't like this genre. I don't like this podcast. Whatever." This one guy was really against Hotline Bling, which is offensive, sir. It's offensive. Hotline Bling is a great song, and yeah, it's like a pop rap song, but it's a good song. And I was like, after that, I was, for some reason, I was really pissed off at that, which is weird. But I love that song, and I thought it was weird for him to say that. Um, so 3 times I had the same rider. Okay, so I picked up one guy in Santa Monica, and took him to his home in Brentwood, and the very next day. And I live in Hollywood, so I don't even live close. And Los Angeles is like 4 million people, right? And the very next day, I picked up that same guy. The chances of that happening are like 1 in 10 million, like insanely low numbers that I get the same guy twice and back-to-back days. So that was the first time. The second time, I got a chef, also back-to-back days, and she had driven for Lyft Express. Okay, so that's crazy too. And finally, a lady who I did not drive back-to-back days, but also did Lyft Express. And I drove her maybe 4 months apart. So she's like, huh, have I seen you or have you driven me before? And I was like, Caitlin, what's up? Long time no see, pal. And so, all those things happening, I guess, like the numbers would seem to be pretty low given how spread out Los Angeles is, and you don't really have a choice of really the rides you get or the riders you get. So that was insane. On one ride, I was talking to a Patriots fan, and he actually went to University of Washington, where I went to school for 1 year. And we were talking about Seattle, and he's from Boston, and we started talking about the Patriots. And I don't like the Patriots. I don't hate them, but I don't like them, and I try to make fun of them when I can. And Jimmy Garoppolo had been traded. This was like in September, maybe, so before he got hurt. And I told the guy, I was like, "Man, how'd you feel? You guys traded away Jimmy Garoppolo for a ham sandwich." Like they didn't get anything for him, even though he's supposed to be really good. And the guy legitimately got pissed off at me. And I thought, dude, you need to relax. I am your Lyft driver. And any football fan will say that you guys probably could have got way more for him, and you didn't. And you guys won a Super Bowl this year anyway, sir. So you're the real winner. Keep that in mind. I had one lady who got in the car, and within 6 minutes, she had told me about a very violent incident 10 years ago in which she was stabbed 12 times. I obviously did not. When people get in my Lyft, I'm not like, hey, so you've been stabbed lately or anything like that. But somehow the conversation got there, and she'd been stabbed a lot. And I thought that was, I don't know, seemed like a weird thing to mention. Not to say that it didn't, intrigue me, because as the driver, you're looking for stuff to talk about. You're looking to hear stories and stuff like that. So it's an interesting story, but it was strange for sure. All right, there we go, folks. Hope that was somewhat entertaining. Comment on which of these stories you liked best. And obviously, if you're going to sign up for Lyft, appreciate you using the promo code